everybody, this is the Sliders Review. I'm here today to talk about Black History Month. The month that is a celebration of my people, because I am a black man and everything. And it's about all our accomplishments, all the oppression that we have gone through over like centuries of living in like America and stuff like that. And even till this day, we are still being oppressed. And so I'm here today to talk to you about certain characters or TV shows or episodes that revolve around Black History Month that I personally enjoy. So I'm here today to talk to you about True Jackson VP Season 1, Episode 1, the pilot. I love True Jackson. Well, at least the first season. The second season has some good parts here and there, a few hits and misses. The third season, I wasn't really feeling. That's when, like, because normally when it comes to like these shows, like those like Nickelodeon, Disney Channel shows, I tend to like phase out after a while. Only a few of them really keep my interest towards the end. True Jackson, like even though I watched all the way to the end, there was just something about that third season I wasn't feeling. It started to get too silly and too juvenile at times. And they started bringing in way too many teenagers and stuff. And so, like, but I still think it was a really funny, hilarious show with some really good acting, and like a really good cast. That first season, boy, I love that first season. I had the first season on DVD. However, Nickelodeon, for some bizarre reason, they only put half of the episodes on DVD. The other half have never seen the light of day on DVD. But ironically, season 2 and season 3 are fully out on DVD. I don't understand that. I really want that second half of like the first season because there's an episode in there I really like that like I'm unable to see. But yeah, so True Jackson, it stars Keke Palmer. And I remember when I watched this, I had no idea who Keke Palmer was. I know she was in some spelling bee movie, but I never seen it. And I think she was in Beauty Shop, which I never saw that. I saw Barbershop. I like Barbershop, but I just never seen Beauty Shop. I heard it didn't do that well. And so she got like this gig on Nickelodeon. You know, the thing about True Jackson, it was around that time Nickelodeon started copying Disney Channel when like Lizzie McGuire started this whole like trend of like female-led stars on like teen shows and stuff. It really like exploded, and then Nickelodeon was trying to capitalize on that with shows like iCarly, Victorious, and True Jackson. Now, I've never seen Victorious except for one episode. iCarly I watched until I phased out of it, and like I just said, now True Jackson I watched until like I phased out of that too. It's just I don't know. It's weird. Like once these shows get towards like the middle and to the end, it's like they just get wackier and sillier and dumber for some reason. Because they're trying to appeal to that of a younger audience because their audience is now getting older and stuff. And but you know, and then also I remember with this show, it really killed me when the premiere of the second season when they had Justin Bieber on there. I didn't know who or what a Justin Bieber was at that time. And all I can remember thinking of, who is this boy? And why does he sound like a girl? And like, why is his acting so bad? And then that's when he exploded and Lord have mercy after that. But supposedly now he's cleaned his life up. So that's good. I still think he needs his jail time for like what he did, like all that crazy stuff, because it's not fair that like regular people, they gotta spend time in jail, but celebrities, they get out within like a second. And it's also even more messed up when like they're a black celebrity do the same thing he does and they're still in jail to this day, and people like him and Paris Hilton and Lindsay Lohan are like out free within like a couple of hours. Like I hate that crap, man. The system is so messed up. And so, like, but let's talk about True Jackson. So, yes, this was one of those, like, female-led shows that was kind of like off-the-wall premise. Off-the-wall premise, what I mean by that is that you just wouldn't picture this happening in real life. See, True Jackson is a teenage girl who ended up being the vice president of this huge like fashion company. That will probably never happen in real life. But it's one of those type of shows that strive to make young people think, hey, you can do anything. Even if you don't like haven't had like years of experience and stuff, but you can do anything and stuff like that. And that's how all them shows were back in like that decade and stuff. I think this came out when I was in college. And so yeah, man, like every like night this came on, I was like watching it. It was so hilarious and stuff. Um, and so in this, true, like, I'm not even gonna spoil the first like couple of seconds of what happened. But I'll just say this, it's so hilarious. You have to watch that for yourself. Like, I was not expecting that to happen. And it was so random. You have to experience that moment for yourself. This show is on Paramount Plus, so you can watch it. So yeah, after that situation happened, I'm not even gonna spoil for you. Um, so like she talks to the dude at the front desk and he's a little snarky at her at first because she's a teenager. A lot of people in her company are snarky towards her because they don't take her serious because she is literally a teenage child and everything. And so then she goes into her office. But then the question is, well, why is a teenager in this fancy office and getting her own place and all stuff like that? So then she narrates and tells why. It all started like because the first season takes place in the summer, so she's not in school, and so like her and her friends they were selling sandwiches, or mainly just her. She's one of those go-getter type people, like she strives to like to be ahead of the game, and so like at this young age she is just like trying to like make some money and start a little business for herself. She's starting in like a sandwich shop, and so like she has to deliver, somebody ordered like a sandwich from like Mad Max like clothing line. So when she goes there to deliver the sandwich, it's to Mad Max himself. And Mad Max is literally mad. He looks like the doctor dude from Back to the Future. Wild, crazy hair, eccentric personality, you name it. So as he's eating the sandwich, he sees that she's wearing a coat jacket type thing. It's from one of his departments and stuff. And he's all like, I don't understand. Why are like the buttons orange and not blue? Because it's on a brown jacket. Why in the world would you put blue buttons on a brown jacket? Like, I'm a guy who has no fashion sense. Even I know that's tacky. So like and so like whatchamacallit. So like she tells him that she just changed them orange. He loved it so much that he decided to make her the VP of the clothing line that he works for and company he owns. What the world? That does not happen in real life. That literally does not happen. Somebody is so impressed, they make you the vice president. So she's a vice president, not of the whole company, but of a certain like clothing line. I think for like youth and apparel, something like that. And so like, and that's how she got her job. And so like she gets the office and she's thrilled by her office. It looks like amazing. The wall, you press a button and it turns into like a refrigerator. And so she has this assistant named Cricket. Cricket don't like her. Cricket is being rude and snotty to her because of her age and stuff. Now, the thing about True you have to know is that True is a very nice, kind-hearted person. She does have a sassy tongue on her. But the thing about her, she's not like ghetto. She's not like like the stereotypical angry black girl. You know what I'm saying? Now she does at times get loud, but only when things like catch her by surprise. And she has this really interesting catchphrase that she always uses. Um, he said, what now? And it's like weird, like she does it all the time with this like loud voice, and it's like so hilarious. But it's only when like things like catch her by surprise, and she's like really nervous and stuff. And so while she's there, she her friends from like school and everything, they come to visit her. Now her best friend is Lulu. Lulu is the Asian girl with like who's like really hyper. Like the girl is super hyper, but she's only hyper in the first couple of episodes of like the first season. And so like she has some I don't know what she had, like some kind of like ADHD or something like that. But she's always bouncing literally off the walls and stuff, and everything catches her attention, especially shiny stuff and the blinds. Like she was like walking on the door talking about, I don't get distracted easily, and she sees like the blinds and takes the two little rope things and just keeps going like up and down, up and down, up and down. The girl is like nuts. And then she also has this male friend named Ryan. Ryan is just like this obnoxious like dude, you know what I'm saying? He's loud, he's class, he's blunt, he's like think he's all that. He's like the typical like skateboarder type person, but with a really eccentric type personality that gets annoying very fast. And so many people in the office cannot stand him. He's always running into stuff or knocking over stuff or knocking over people or losing stuff. And like it's just like he is like the goofball of like the show. Now, ironically, that's the type of role he gets stuck with in Hollywood ever since this show ended. Like he gets typecast a lot. When he was on American Housewife, he played the same type of role. When he was on Bunked, he played the same kind of role. Kiki also gets like typecast as well. Like she always plays like the headstrong, nice girl with like a sassy tone who will tell you off type thing. Like she gets typecast as that as well when she was in Scream season 3 and when she was on Scream Queens and everything. So like I really hate seeing them get like typecast. I want them to like break out their mold and do something like different, you know? But True is one of those type of people that does have that good vibe to her. She's very positive and she always looks for the best in other people and try to help people, no matter how rude or snarky they are to her. Which brings us to our next character, Amanda. Her enemy throughout the entire series, but then later towards like the middle-ish into the series, she becomes kind of like a frenemy, slight mother figure to her, or mentor also in the fashion industry. Amanda is probably like, oh, I don't know, probably like in her early 40s, probably late 30s, and she resents young people. She hates young people. She hates teenagers. She's this really snooty but very classy type woman who laughs with a snort. And she does not like the idea of True like getting ahead of her and like the business, and I think kind of like not really so much taking her job but kind of like co-taking her job or whatever. And she doesn't like her friends whatsoever. And so like she's just like this rude upper class snooty type woman who dresses very eloquently and stuff, and she just thinks True should be like in the schoolyard playing what is it, like tit tacs or what do you call it, or tit tac or something like that. Yeah, she literally tells her that too and stuff. So like throughout the entire like season and series, they constantly like butt heads and everything. And so in this episode, as True is like, you know, showing her friends around like the office and everything, her and Lulu leave like Ryan. Well, of course, he's too busy acting like a goofball and he messes around on her computer. And he changes it to put himself on there because all he thinks about is himself and thinks he's all that. But then he decided to do something really stupid when she ordered like new furniture because she doesn't like the one that's in her office. And so like when I guess like the couch guys came to like take some stuff, I guess they took some things they weren't supposed to by mistake, and he kind of like let them and everything because he wasn't paying around because he was too busy goofing around. And so like they took like the old stuff and they just threw it in the dumpster. So he has to go down dumpster diving looking for all the stuff. What is he looking for? The new like dresses that their company made, like the prototypes and stuff. And so, like, they're all down there in the trash in the dumpster, and she starts to realize to herself, maybe she's getting too over ahead of herself. Maybe this isn't the job for her. She's too young. She doesn't know how to run like a department business, and so she's contemplating about quitting. Well, as she's about to hand in her resignation and stuff, she goes into like the mailroom and she sees this boy who she gushes over. I forget his name, but he's like the male boy or whatever. He's also Max's nephew, played by Robbie. What's his last name? He's related to the dude who played Green Arrow in this Arrowverse. Stephen Amell. Okay, Robbie Amell. So yeah, he's played by him. But I forget his name. And so like as she's like, just gushing over him, he's telling her, like, you should really like, not give up so easily and try to stick with this thing. But of course, she's decided she's going to stick with it because of his advice, and also she wants to see him every day because she thinks he's cute. And so when she gets back to her office, Ryan has now found the dresses. So they have to like fix them up as best as they can because they got like trash on them and stuff. However, when they do present it in the business meeting, um, there's still stuff stuck up on there like gunk and trash. Now, Amanda thinks this is just like awful and thinks she should be fired, but Max, he's all like, I love it. Like, he just loves like the trash stains on and stuff like that. You'll see very quickly in this season or in this series that even when True messes up and something should not be good, she always finds a way to make it better, and Max is like, oh, whatever, I love it and everything. It's kind of like I kind of don't like that messaging. It's just kind of like, oh, you mess up and you get rewarded. I never liked that messaging and stuff, but like I said before, he's eccentric. So she's keeping her job, and she got like a round of applause by people. They really liked her stuff, and like so when True gets back to her office, because see, she almost missed the meeting. She was 10 minutes late because her assistant did that on purpose. So what does True does to Cricket? She makes a business call, a boss call, and she fires that woman. And it was the right thing to do because the woman was so rude to her, so mean, so blunt, and almost caused her to be like late for a meeting, which could cause you to get fired. And so now she's out of an assistant. So within the next couple of episodes, or probably next episode, she's gonna get a new one, and it's Lulu. You will quickly see that this show starts to become very teen oriented as the series progresses. Lulu gets a job there. Ryan gets a job there. Um, in the second season, like since this show was a hit in the first season has the most episodes out of all, and because it was a hit, you assume that the other seasons will get more episodes, but they don't for some bizarre reason. I think the first season's only like 26. This is not a rundown review. This is just like a pilot review and stuff. I'll do the rundown thing later in the year and stuff. So anyway, so like yeah, so like first was 26, second was 20, and then like the third was like 13 or 16 or something like that. And that's when the show started going downhill in the third season. And with the fewer like cuz see the problem was is that in the second season, because the first season was a hit, and since this is a teen show, they couldn't have a bunch of like older adults in their like 40s, just hanging out with like like four teenagers and stuff because this is a Nickelodeon show, you know. So what did they do in the second season? School started again, and we see her in school, and we see a lot more of her friends in school and her classmates, and then it quickly became one of those type of Nickelodeon shows where it just revolves around a bunch of teenagers. And then in the finale, it becomes so teen oriented that all of the adults move on with their lives in the show, and now Mad Max is run by teenagers, nothing but teenagers, all her friends from school. It made no sense. It ruined the show, in my opinion. It went away from what the premise was supposed to be about. The premise is supposed to be about a teenage girl who's the VP of a fashion place. And it was nice to see her juggle that and her schoolwork in season two, but they just went wacky in season two and three, especially in season three. And then when they made like a bunch of teenagers running a fashion company, man, come on now, what kind of mess is that? But like I said before, I do think True Jackson is a good role model. It's nice to see her be a go-getter. It's nice to see that positive vibe. It's nice to see that she actually cares about other people and their feelings. And every time she does messes up a lot in the show, she always finds a way to make things better. So that's always great. Happy Black History Month, everybody. I'll talk to you later. Bye.